good evening, good afternoon, whatever you feel like. But then that's what the case. That's not even about that. Okay, right here you see this fancy stuff right here. Right, I just want to show you guys, what's going on, because we are used to basic, like very basic. So this is also basic, but little bit of advanced basics on hydraulics. So why I'm saying it's a bit advanced is because we are used to these type of valves. Okay, these manually adjusting valves, you call them lever, pedal, and all that, the roller. Okay, so now we are looking at a hydraulics, but we call this one electro-hydraulics. It's pneumatics. Also, you can also call it electro-pneumatic. So all of that we call it, as you know, mechatronics. Right here we have our power pack. Our power pack has the electrical motor rather. And then we have your start-stop button. Obviously, all the important parts of hydraulics. It all starts here. You have what we call a reservoir there, the pressure, sort of like leaking here. Okay, our tank is leaking. We'll look at that. Right, so, but then that's what we have. You have your pressure gauge here, which is very important. Helps us to see how much pressure is being pumped from the reservoir by our pump. Okay, you're gonna have your pressure relief valve. So we have the tank and we have the pressure. Then this is our circuit. Okay, so on this circuit here, we're gonna look at how I can control my valve electrically, not by using manually or by using these lever and pedal type of valves. Okay, so these are directional control valves, but we are used to, like I said, to our basic stuff where we're not used to these type of as Millwrights, filters and stuff, to this type of setup. Okay, so you look at that. This right here has solenoid. So you'd see on symbols you would have a solenoid valve and a solenoid valve. You'll have your lever, you'll have a pedal, the roller, so this is a directional control valve, electrically operated. That's what we mean by that. Okay, so this is what you are used to. Okay, this is what we are used to. Okay, so now we're gonna control this directional control valve using electricity, the 24 volts DC right over there. Okay, so I'm gonna show you from start to finish. So my sequence right here, as you can see, I have my sensor there, capacitive. I'm calling it a capacitive because it senses any object. Inductive proximity sensor, it senses only a metal, as far as I know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so purpose of my circuit here, I want to extend my cylinder. Okay, I want to extend my cylinder, and then as long after the extension of my cylinder, if my sensor detects an object, I want the cylinder to move back, kind of like retracting, like to move back. As long the sensor senses something, it means my cylinder shouldn't be there. Okay, so it's gonna keep on retracting. Okay, so that's sort of like a sequence that I've built here. So yeah, I expect that to happen. So I have my relay there. When I press start, it's gonna send a signal to my relay. Then my relay will energize. It has a normal open and normally closed. It's gonna energize, it closes, sends a signal to my solenoid, and my solenoid will extend my cylinder. And then once my cylinder fully extends, and then my sensor, when it sees something, is gonna retract my cylinder. Okay, I didn't consider that much safety on that one. I just wanna give us a feel of electro-hydraulics, yeah, just what do they talk about, because we see these on symbols, but we never actually, get an exposure. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So an exposure just to, if you can, see what do they mean by solenoid valve, so how it works, So we're gonna control this circuit automatically. Okay, so if I may start, so right there I'm gonna press my start, send the signal to my relay coil. My relay coil is gonna close and normally open, sends a signal to the solenoid. Solenoid is gonna actuate my directional control valve. My directional control valve is gonna send pressure to my cylinder. My cylinder is gonna extend my piston. Okay, full extension. Then I'm gonna have my sensor right over there. As long as it senses an object, my cylinder will keep on retracting. If it doesn't sense anything, my cylinder will stop exactly where it is. Okay, so that's what's gonna happen. Let me press start. I'm gonna give it power right there. Now we have our 24 volts available. And I'm gonna start my pump right there. My pump will start. Pressures. Okay, sorry for my circuits. Then I'm gonna press start. When I press start, the relay energizes, sends signal to the solenoid. Solenoid actuate. Solenoid actuate my directional control valve. Directional control valve sends pressure to my cylinder. My piston will extend, full extension. Then my sensor will detect an object. When it detects an object, it's gonna retract my cylinder. Okay, so let's go start. When I press start, my cylinder extends. You see there? Now it's in full extension. I want to take it back. I'm gonna, my sensor senses an object. I press a start. Extend. Okay, sensor takes it back. Press start. My cylinder extends. Press start. I didn't retain my start. You see, start. You see my relay coil there energizes, sends the signal to the solenoid. Then now my cylinder is on full extension. Now the sensor detects an object. Here is my hand. Okay, my cylinder moves back. So basically when my sensor detects an object, it sends a signal to my solenoid directional valve. Okay, great stuff. Okay, great stuff. All right. Okay, thank you for subscribing. Hang in there.